my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of May 15th, where this week, heading straight in, not only do we have a new moon happening this week, so that's really exciting, but we've also got Jupiter moving into the energy of Taurus, taking us back in our charts 12 years ago was the last time we experienced this transit. We experienced some kind of expansion and challenge to the philosophical or faith-based ideas that we have been working with. But it was also a really nice expansion. So get prepared to pattern track back as we consider where we've been and where we are coming to as we are traveling this week. But we've also got what I consider to be the biggest aspect happening all year long, and that is transiting Jupiter, having moved into the energy of Taurus, squaring against Pluto, who is retrograde in the energy of Aquarius. Now, this is a fixed square, but it's a really big deal for us when we look at how the world is changing, how our beliefs and our belief structures and the way that we expand and share our resources has come into the storyline as well. It's literally this doorway. If you haven't watched your May horoscopes, make sure you check it out. But it's literally this doorway where the world outside of us and our communities, when we're looking at geopolitical topics, economics, when we're looking at any of those things, the world as we used to know it ceases to be this week. And this is a huge deal to consider outside of the spiritual and esoteric realms of, are you becoming a better person? How are you going to navigate this planet and the rest of your lifetime in regards to your resources as well? So it's a really, really big week, but I love that even before we're getting into the movements happening this week, we're kind of primed under this last little bit of Aries energy, and we've got the ruling planet of Aries squaring to Neptune to call us to be imaginative, so the theme this week I see us working with is this concept of you've already got it. You are already your own resource, or what you need is already available to you, but it's about being creative in how you use it, apply it, and develop it. So all of that coming up as we listen to this weekly horoscope. Now, you have still got a little bit of time to register for NORWAC, and you can come and visit with us in person, which we will all be meeting up on the 24th in Seattle, or you can do it online. We've also got the hybrid option available to you. So click in the description box down below, get signed up for that. Of course, if you don't have your digital transit calendar to be following where these transits are happening in your particular chart, you want to make sure that you get one from our friends over at the Wise Skies Collective. And you're also going to get $17 off with my code, and it is in the description box down below. And of course, anything else you could want to know about how I do business, what we're doing on this channel, it's all in the description box down below. All right, into the week we go. So first and foremost, as we're coming in on Monday, let me just say happy Mother's Day again, just in case you didn't get to catch that message or nobody told you that. I'm telling you, happy Mother's Day. It's a little late, but happy Mother's Day. All right, but as we're coming in on Monday, we're coming in with the moon in a void of course position. So first of all, I like to keep in mind that when we look at the days of the week as they are ruled by different planets, Monday is a moon day, right? That's where we get it, moon day. So as we're coming in this week, it's in a slower position to be with the moon, to be with our internal lives and our emotional bodies and what's going on the inside. But I also have to remember that the moon is a reflection of what is going on with the sun. So this is a great time for you to look around at what you're allowing into your life and into your space, because you are receiving it and reflecting it back. So what are you bringing in? Are you bringing in chaos and controversy and things that are spinning you up and are not actually useful to the mission that you are trying to achieve? Well, under the void of course moon, you have the chance to slow, to rest, to review, to revive yourself, and to release that which is not actually helpful on the journey. So think about that too. What are you reflecting back as we experience this void of course energy? Now, very quickly after that, we will see the moon move into the energy of Aries. So the question, after all this beautiful review that we started the early mornings with, right? And for some of you, you'll be doing that review during dream time. So it's a great place Sunday night to bring it into your reality Monday morning, right? Because we work out a lot of things in the dreamscape. But as we're traveling during the day and we've got this Aries energy, it's who am I? Who am I? Am I that girl? Right? Whomever that girl, whoever that boy, whoever that person is for you, are you that? And what do you need to develop in order to be that? These are great Aries questions. Other things I think about at that emotional level of being nurtured and feeling supported and secure is, what are you eating? Are you bringing some spice and some flair into your diet? Now, you don't have to go all cayenne pepper if that's not your life, but garlic, onion, things that have a spicy texture to them may become a part of your diet for this next couple days as you support that Aries moon. Now, we are also going to see ruling planet of this Aries moon, Mars, in this gorgeous trine to Neptune. And this calls creativity. This calls imagination to the surface. And remember, Jupiter is in its last moments in the energy of Aries as well. So it's a great time to review, over this last year, what have you been encouraged to begin? Maybe you haven't fully launched it out there, but you have a course of, I need to do this. I need to build this. I want to go in this direction. And it is very much so about you being you. It's important to your identity to launch the whatever it is. But this is the calling with Mars in a trine to Neptune, to be creative in how you do it. One of the greatest things I think of is with Pluto being in the energy of Aquarius right now, you may be the person who used to have a traditional business idea and it would have never worked for you at that time in your life. But because we have access to the internet, because we have access to information, because we have access to other resources at a global level, this is a place where you can be imaginative to how you will launch this business out, how you will launch this project out, how you will do whatever it is that you are trying to do. But call back to yourself the spirit of play and the spirit of imagination. And whenever Neptune gets involved, remember, we have to create things in an intangible place before they become tangible. My favorite example are chairs. If you've been here for a while, I talk about these damn chairs just all the time. But before a chair was actually a chair, it was just a vision, right? It was just an intangible vision that was over here. Somebody said, God, it would be better if we just weren't sitting on the floor, or whatever terrible thing was happening that they thought they needed chairs for, right? And now there are chairs everywhere, and that is you. So get creative with what you're thinking, okay? Now, Tuesday is the day. We've got Jupiter entering into the energy of Taurus. Da, 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 da. It's happened. We've been waiting all year for it. Now, okay, you guys know I'm pretty positive. I tend towards the side of positivity and solution, and so I love the idea that Jupiter in Taurus, as a response to Jupiter in Aries, can bring abundance. It can bring a resource or a financial blessing your way, absolutely. But it does also depend. What did you do with your Jupiter in Aries time? Did you start to build something? Did you get something going? What was the clear-cut path that you said, I'm going forward with this? I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know if I have the funding. I don't know if I have the resources, but you said, I want to go this way. That will help Jupiter be its best benefic self, right? Because if you are on the path in some way, it's easier for Jupiter to bless the path. Now, if your path has been scrambled, it's not wrong. You didn't fail the mission or miss the bus or anything like that. But what Jupiter in Taurus can do is expand what you don't have. Right? It can, because Jupiter in Taurus is a bit more conservative than Jupiter in Aries is. Jupiter in Aries was like, F it, I don't care, I'll figure it out. I want to do this, so I'm going to go this way. But Jupiter in Taurus will say, we need to be a bit more conservative in our approach and use the resources that we have to get done what we need to get done. So if you haven't, if the path has been a little bit squiggly, you might feel like you're scrambling just a little bit to figure out what your resources actually are. Now, a great thing that you can do with this is, first of all, remember, we just live our patterns. We all just live our patterns over and over and over again, and hopefully we bring new wisdom to them so we don't have to experience all of the same things over and over and over again, right? So go back into your life into 2011. That was the last time Jupiter was transiting this area of your chart. And what were you doing? What were you working on? You were building on something from 2010. You know, it was coming forward a little bit more. There was more advancement. Your beliefs and your ideas, especially around faith and philosophies that have guided your life, have likely been challenged. So go back into that time zone and see what was happening for you in your life, because now this is a continuation of that conversation. Where are your ideas and attitudes completely rearranged? This is Taurus energy. Where do you value yourself, your resources completely differently? Where is your self-worth different? Because when you are working with a different level of self-esteem and self-worth, the things that we create are naturally more abundant because we're not so afraid, right? So these are great themes for you to be thinking about. Now we're going to experience Jupiter traveling through the energy of Taurus all the way until 2024. So we won't see it move on until May of 2024. Now we are going to see, as soon as we get into June 5th, we're going to see Jupiter enter into its pre-retrograde shadow time. So between now, May 16th and June 5th, I want you to just kind of keep your eye on what is happening and what were those themes from 2011, because we will absolutely start to work on and review some of those things as we start to get into the pre-retrograde shadow time. Now Jupiter's not actually going to take its retrograde until September, okay? And it is a little bit, it's one of the transpersonal planets, so it's a little bit further from us. So the difference is when Mercury or Venus get into pre-retrograde shadow time, we can usually feel that because they're very close, right? But when Jupiter and beyond, they start to get into their pre-retrograde shadow times, you have to search a little bit more for the vibration of what's shifting. So it might not be as noticeable. But if you're a journaler, if you're a person who likes to record information that way, you might be able to catch that you've experienced that subtle shift. So let me know if you feel more connected to Jupiter or where you're at with your Jupiter vibration in the comment section down below. Okay, and remember, this is all still happening under that brilliant energy of Aries. So we're still a little bit spicy, feisty. So have a garlic sandwich and consider your resources, okay? All right, when we get to Wednesday, we've got the moon moving back into a void of course position until early in the morning. But you've had this Jupiterian shift. So it's really nice to stop and see where in your body you can feel the new vibration having come in, okay? And then we have this void of course early into the day on Wednesday, and rest and pause and reflect under this energy before the moon itself moves into the energy of Taurus. So now we've got a big old Taurus sandwich going on over here. There's a lot of energy rolling through the Taurus realm, okay? So as the moon moves into this Taurus vibration now, remember your creature comforts, first of all. And this is a great place to review as well, or to think about today in your life versus the last 28 days or the last 12 years. What are the things that actually bring you comfort today? Because Taurus is a fixed energy. So these foods that we've liked for a very long time, that blanket, those pillows, those socks, but Taurus can also hold on to really old stories, okay? And I'm not just talking about being a Taurus sun or a Taurus rising, but the Taurus area of your chart will be phenomenal at being fixed and earthy and wanting to hold on to a story that's been there for a very long time. But as the moon is traveling here at this emotional level, you can go back to those stories or those ideas and just kind of spot check and say, yes, is this memory, does this story, does this, thing from my past still actually bring comfort? Does it bring healing into my life, or what's going on here? Because I'm a Taurus, and I think my Taurus brethren can relate when I say this here, but I am pretty certain. I love my husband. He's a delightful human being, right? Super married. But I'm pretty sure I'm still married to Jeremy from like kindergarten. Okay. I don't know if we ever broke up. And that's Taurus energy. It is like, I will just hold on until I die, no matter what. So sometimes you got to go check in and convince Taurus that it is okay, it is safe, there is value in letting go of what is old and no longer feeding the purpose anymore. Now keep in mind too, under Taurus energy, things that you can bring into your diet, things that can be really, really wonderful for your Taurus body are mint, clover, honey, very kapha kind of foods that will be really, really helpful for the journey, okay? Now, don't get too excited because we're not done with all this Taurus energy just yet, but we do need to explore first this Jupiter and Pluto square. Now, to say this, first of all, you know, I try and share with you guys when we're going to experience transits more than once, at the dates that they're coming, so you can kind of watch for them to come into your life. This is, it's happening. It's like pop, and then we're done. And these two are not going to have another interaction this year, so this is it. This is our one and done kind of transit. But as transiting Jupiter comes in and squares, so this is a fixed square, okay? So envision that, feel that in your body for a minute and calibrate to how fixed energy feels. It does not want to be moved against. So essentially what we've got is a battle of the mountains, okay? And one is the earth mountain, one is the sky mountain in that Aquarius energy, and they are pushing against each other. And a square is our indicator that something has to be done. You have to take an action to get out of the weight of the square, or you will be crushed, okay? So keep that in mind. If you're feeling like you're getting crushed, look for the smart, useful exit doors, okay? Now, this battle between the earth and the air is challenging what we have thought. It's challenging our philosophies. It's challenging our levels of faith. It is challenging our point of view. I have always thought it was this way. I said I would never do this, and you are in that square and you are being asked to create a completely new conception, or to become ready to have a completely new conception of your mind created, a new perspective that you will later translate into the physical material realm. Now, it is a square, you guys. It's a square. It's not always comfortable. For some of you, you've been ready for this change. You've been ready to pop out into the new world in a different way. For some, you have not. So depending on where you're at on the lesson scale here, right? One place is not better than the other. You're just where you're at. You've got to learn what you've got to learn at that place. But just know you are being pushed to check your truths. Is that really true at this time? Can you really grow with that? Is that really a resource? Is that line of thinking really the most honest for you at this particular time in your life? And what that will create, not just for you, but this is also being created in society. Jupiter and certainly Pluto are societal, they're global societal planets. We've got new exposure to new information, new ways of doing things, new things that are going to be in society that we're going to be working with. And you've also got to learn at a personal level to work with it. New groupings of people, new AI, new science, all of these things are hot on the change, okay? All right, now as we continue a little bit later in the day, after we've had that very exciting square, okay, we're going to have the sun in a sextile to Neptune. So this is again calling back some creativity, but the sun in the sextile is a pocket of opportunity, but we intelligently take action. So we are in some kind of ease of motion with this energy. And a piece of the Jupiter-Pluto square, I think as well, and just thinking about Jupiter and Taurus in general, is that you've had the dream, you've had the vision, you've wanted something, and again, you maybe didn't know exactly how to make it happen. You want that relationship, but I'm not sure if I'm ready, or how do I need to get ready? You want the business, whatever it is that has been an investment that you've been willing to invest in, the dream has been there. And even though it's challenging, the Sun sextile Neptune aspect here is reminding you that to stick with it, stay creative, have childlike faith, right? Be easy. Try and let go and release where you can, because there are new possibilities. There are new opportunities that you couldn't see with your other eyeballs. Right? You couldn't sense them with your other mind, but we're spending the week having our truths, our visions, and our perspectives challenged. And as that happens, even when it's painful, we become open to new possibilities that are the creative third option I never thought about. So you really have the opportunity for some doors to open and for you to walk your behind through them with the Sun Neptune sextile. Now, we already experienced this, so pattern track back, go back to January 13th. What doorway or what dream or what vision, what opportunity was available to you, and you took it. You got on board. You started to move towards it. This is the second aspect of Sun Neptune sextile. So you have already been here this year alone, okay? All right, let's see what Thursday has to offer to us. So let me just ask you too, please let me know this in the comment section down below before we explore the rest of Thursday. But how are you doing with Mercury out of retrograde? Now, it's not out of post-retrograde shadow. We're not fully done until May 31st, June 1st, depending on where you live, okay? But how are you doing with Mercury being out of retrograde? What has come to pass from April 7th for you all the way until now that it's like, yeah, I had been working on this for a while. I started to go in a different direction, and it turns out I had to circle back to my original idea. So let me know that in the comment section down below. Okay, when we get to Thursday, now we're going to see Mercury, speaking of, in a sextile to Saturn. Now, we did see these two have a conversation April 5th. Okay, and we also saw them have a conversation May 12th by Mercury's retrograde. So again, we're in a repeating of pattern. So let's look back to where we've been. Mercury, our thinking planet of the mind, how we communicate, contracts, sales, negotiations, things with siblings, things that need details, and we have to pay attention to those details. In a sextile with Saturn, who's over in the energy of Pisces. Saturn is not yet ready for a retrograde either. So everybody's kind of full force ahead. So as these two come into alignment, I love it because I feel like it is your mind walking through the doorway of maturity. Your mind walking through the doorway of your expertise and your mastery. You have learned, you know something, you are ready. So at this energy on this day, you're ready to make that decision. You've got the tools. Even if you don't have the tools, you know you have the skills to find the tools and to ask the questions that you need to ask. This is what I would call the ready position. So whatever's going on for you this day, of course, always double check against your own chart, but this is the hey, you are ready day of your life. Now we're going to see this aspect again in December. We'll see it on December 2nd, and we will see Mercury talk again with Saturn on December 21st. So get ready to see what decisions you make now and how they pan out as we get to the end of the year. All right, when we get to Friday the 19th, we have got the new moon. Dun, 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 dun. And it's at 28 degrees of Taurus. So we've spent a lot of time in this Taurus and Scorpio axes over this last year and a half. Okay, so some of the stuff that we're looking at is not new. There has been so much development around your self-worth, your self-esteem, you as a valuable resource in your own life for you to take out into the world or for you to affect change around you. So now as we're having this new moon at 28 degrees of Taurus, this is about planting your seeds of intention. You've got a bunch of helpers. The node is in Taurus. The sun is in Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus. Jupiter is in Taurus. Okay, you've got an abundance of helpers. Mercury is in Taurus. Okay, so everybody and their sister is hanging out in your Taurus house. So this is the time to plant your seeds of intention of what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel secure, what is delicious to you, what lights up sensual pleasures for you, what is valuable, which relationships in your life do you want to see grow through a really abundant, correct alignment and experience. Something else I was thinking about is for some of you, it's like the question for me at this moon is like, what are you building? Taurus is a natural building and sustaining kind of energy. So if you are building something, I don't care if you're building a house, are you building shoes? Like, what are you building? Put that in. Oh, makeup. Are you building makeup? You really do have to build on your makeup. You can't just throw it on if that's going to be a thing you're going to do. You have to build it. So let me know in the comment section down below, what are you building in this area of your chart, and what are your seeds of intention that you are planting? Because under Taurus energy, Taurus likes to get its hands and its fingers and its whole everything into the dirt and really let the soil nourish it back. So this is what you're looking to plant down there. Something that you are going to nurture into that soil, and then it will nurture you back. Is this an investment? Is this something in the stocks? What are you doing to reinvest in your own worth and your own value? Now, my always caution that comes from my teacher, Stephen Forrest, is to remember at a new moon, what you plant for good or for ill, you are going to work on for at least 28 days, and it might be longer. So around the new moon, I love calling in a little bit of ritual. Our friend at Sparkles of Gold Astrology, Nicholas Polomonakis, talks a lot about using ritual. Be choosy. Who is around you? What's the content that's around you? What is influencing you at this time? Because for good or for ill, you're going to work on that. So if you don't really want to hang out and be in this relationship over here, or you don't really want this over here. Be choosy with your energetic space at this particular moon time, okay? Now, not too long after that, very quickly actually, we're going to see that the moon gets back into the position of void, of course, before it's going to move forward into Gemini. So you get this big dose of like new moon energy that's like, okay, let's get these resources going and now rest and be with it. And I take this as the signal of plant your seeds in the garden, right? Get out there, get all pruny in the dirt, really get into it. And then get the heck out. Let the universe do the heavy lifting. You're in charge of footwork, not outcomes, okay? So then we will rest, and then we will see the moon get into the energy of Gemini. And as the moon gets into Gemini, this is what I think. You plant your seeds of intention in your beautiful garden, then you rest, and you're letting the universe take over, and then you want to go tell everybody what you planted in your garden. And what I will say to this, while the moon is in Gemini, remember, this is your internal world, your emotions, what's deep, what's important to you, what's secure. So share your secrets, share your message, share your intentions with people who can help it bloom and blossom. What I think sometimes we have a tendency to do, and I have absolutely been here, is I'm so excited about a project, or I'm so excited about something that I'm taking on, and the people in my life are like well-meaning, but I tell them about my thing and they're afraid, or they don't understand what I'm trying to build, so they reflect to me, right? Because we're looking a lot at what am I reflecting back. They reflect their fear to me, or I've done it tons where somebody will tell me something and I tell them how they can make it better, and it's like, just shut up, just listen. You know what I mean? Gemini is not a very good listener most of the time. It's a skill that Gemini has to develop. So at this particular moon time for the next couple of days, yes, share your story, talk to your networks, develop your networks. This is an air moon, so think about how you feel, journal, write, all of these things. But wherever you're sharing your information, try to share it someplace that can reflect back to you encouragement, right? Your squad should want you to win. And if you don't have that, stop telling them your business. Okay. As we get to Friday, we're going to start to experience a little bit of a shift in energy. First of all, we've got Mars moving into the energy of Leo. So Mars is back in a fire energy, feisty, spicy, ready to go. Now, as Mars, our action energy, movement, desire, passion planet, moves into Leo, first and foremost, it'll be here until July. So we want to act of service with our big hearts, but we also want to take actions that allow us to be center stage, but center stage with generosity, center stage with smile, with play, with this is a great promotion energy. Our Leo energy, the Leo portion of your chart, even if it's in your 12th house like mine, does not want to go quietly into the night. You know what I mean? You gotta think about that. Which lion do you know that's like, oh, I'm not really here? It doesn't work that way. This is the part of your chart that's got that big, beautiful mane, and it wants to be regal, and it wants to be powerful without being arrogant. Sometimes it's arrogant, but it wants to be powerful without being arrogant. So this is a great time. Go to that party you were invited to. Go to the Zoom thing you were invited to. Put yourself out there. Love big. Be in action with movements and words of service and of love and of playfulness. I really cannot encourage and invite you to more play during the Mars in Leo season. How do you move your body in a playful way that feels good, that brings passion into your life, but is also about taking a risk of looking foolish in order to get to the joy? You know, I can't remember the name of the movie. Oh my God, it's just out of my head. John Cusack. You guys let me know, okay? And he's outside of the window. He's got the boom box and he's playing the song. Oh my God, what is that movie? Hey, hey, hey. You guys know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comment section down below. You know what I mean. That is Mars and Leo. Where are you out there with your boom box sharing your message of love, okay? All right, as we get a little bit later in the day, we're going to see Mars now step into this opposition with Pluto, who is retrograde over in that energy of Aquarius. Pluto is having a lot of conversations this week, okay? It's talking to big boss Jupiter. Now it's talking to little boss Mars, but it's a lot of fire. It's like Pluto's under a lot of fire to change. We are under a lot of pressure to get busy with the changes happening right now. And this is not the hallway stuff, you guys. You know what I mean? We're not just necessarily in the transition, especially as Mars opposes Pluto. It is the challenge to change, like take a different action, get out of the hallway, get into a new room, is kind of that vibration. But I do love Mars and Pluto together because they're both driven. It's a driven energy. But what we don't want to do in the opposition is get them to drive further and further and further and further and further from each other. We don't want to make the opposition bigger, because what it feels like is your insides are going one way, your outsides are going another way, you're trying to go this way, society's trying to go this way. So it feels like that internal tug of war. Remember, the way to work with an opposition is to, first of all, get rid of the word purpose. Who cares what the purpose of this is? Purpose is a word that makes an opposition get bigger, because there's purpose in everything. What is the goal? You put Pluto and Mars together for a goal, what it is that you want to achieve, and you'll pull that opposition into integration in the middle, and that's what we're trying to do. Integrate both sides of the information in your chart that is coming together, because when you do that, you give Mars and Pluto a position to be extraordinarily powerful in your chart. And you think about that when we bring the mind, body, and spirit together, or we even get them hell on the same page, you know what I mean? It's powerful. We make really powerful changes under that energy. So that's what this influence is very much so about. Now, we cannot miss that Saturday, we're going to say happy birthday to our Gemini friends. Oh, Taurus season, it's over. We have to pry the season from the cold, fixed hands of our lovely Taurus friends, and it is time for the mutable season of Gemini. So happy birthday to my Gemini squad out there. Man, the sun moves into Gemini, and we are going to spend a season. We're going to spend all the way until June 21st. Talking, tapping into our intelligence, being friendly, being connected, multitasking. For some people, depending on where the Gemini placement is in your chart, you may find yourself being extra crispy busy. Okay, so also remember, we're in a mutable season, which can bring more worry. We think about stuff more. We're worrying about stuff more. Our anxiety is a little bit higher. We're a lot busier. The cell phone's going crazy. We're getting all the email messages. So find time every day for the next 30 days, find time to shut it all down for at least an hour, 60 minutes, no content, no nothing, to the very best of your ability. And other things that you can do that are really great to help your nervous system and your adrenal system relax during this season is to go into a dark space. Allow yourself to be in the dark for 15 minutes. Now, I will tell you, more than once in my life have I laid in my bathroom with the lights off, and it has been very effective. So you do you. However you find your peace, okay? That's a great way that you can motion through this Gemini season. And also, let me know, you guys, in the comment section down below, where is Gemini in your particular chart? For me, Gemini lives in the 10th house, and I also have my Mercury in Gemini as well at the very beginning degrees. So it's going to be a busy beetle over here being in public, okay? As we get to Sunday, we're going to wrap up this week. First and foremost, we've got the sun now in a trine to Pluto. Like, Pluto cannot be left alone this week. We've got a lot of changing to do. But as Pluto and the sun come into a trine with one another, it's very positive. This has the potential to be a wonderfully positive window for you to work with. But remember, the trine, unlike the sextile today, it's not like, oh, there's a door, I should walk through it. It's like the door is there, and you could easily walk by it because it looks like all of the other doors. So a trine can sometimes be so much ease that we actually miss it. Okay, so if there is something you were hoping for, let's say you get to Sunday and you're like, oh, I haven't heard back from that person that I emailed and it's been a while, I'll give them another day. I would say don't give them another day. Shoot a nice little message to be like, hey, just checking in so that Monday morning or maybe Sunday night they can respond, because the opportunity is right there, but you have to go to it, right? You gotta get on over there. Now, we're going to experience this particular arrangement again September 21st. And something else to just consider with this aspect, if it's felt like things have been a little bit heavy, a little bit darker, you know, you've been in the tunnel for a while, I feel like Sun Pluto trine is the light, right? You get to light a little torch in the dark cavern and start to see your way forward. So it brings a little light, it brings a little hope to what is going on. So if you need that, it's not like you have to wait until Sunday to get it, but this energy definitely brings a little something to the table. Okay, later in the day, into the evening, we're going to see the moon move void, of course, before it gets to the energy of Cancer. But before that, we're also going to see the sun move into a sextile with Mars. So as you can see, Sunday is busy. We've got a lot going on. As Sun Mars come together in sextile, my motivation, my light, my heat, my life, my vitality, what I want to do, that is the sun, gets lit and is welcome to action of Mars that's in Leo. Okay, so this is an awesome time to get things done. Do stuff. Just get it done. This is a combination of air and fire coming together. And remember, when air and fire come together, they expand one another. So it's big. There's a lot of energy. I will tell you, the sun is in Gemini. You are dealing with Mars and a fire energy. Stay hydrated. You got to be hydrated or die, you know? So because you're going to be busy having energy to do all of the things. Now, sometimes what can happen, though, I think with the sun in Gemini is that we take on too many projects. So also just be mindful to not only not take on too many things, because this is a great aspect of ease, but it's really easy to use it too much and get burnt out. You've got too many things going at once. Or if you do have to be multitasking, or you choose to multitask, maybe just grab a little Post-it and write down things that need to be done. I'm a Virgo rising, so I like a good list anyways, but sometimes it's just actually helpful. But to keep in mind that it's not just about the physical doing. Everything that you say yes to is a commitment of a piece of your physical and your mental energy. So you don't want to burn yourself out like that either, okay? As we close out Sunday, hopefully bring a little peace to your table, we've got the moon moving home into the energy of Cancer. So first and foremost, you get to the evening time on Sunday, put your hand on your heart, put your hand on your body, double hand right here, and come home, right? Gather your energy, very Qigong, which I have a cool Qigong astrology class that I'll be telling you guys about soon. I'm really excited about. Anyways, bring the energy home, bring it to the body, reground down, right? Come back home and get ready to reorient to your own space. Also, though the moon in Cancer is great, finish the laundry, like do the stuff at home. Go be with your people. Put on a nice Netflix and be with your family, whatever that looks like, whether you're a plant parent or you're a parent, whatever your deal is, come back home as we are closing out Sunday and getting prepared for this Monday energy, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, I hope you have a gorgeous week. Let me know what's happening for you in the comment section down below. I'm really curious to know where the Gemini portions of your chart are at, so let me know that in the comment section down below. I love you guys a ton, and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.